Visibility volume 5%.
Good afternoon, and welcome to More Than Meets the Eye. I'm your host, Blind Prime, and I have for you today Transformers War for Cybertron Seige Six-Gun in his vehicle mode. Now, today's video I will discuss with you kind of vehicle mode part A and vehicle mode part B, and inform to you during the review how to transform your guy from the vehicle mode I showed you in the Blind Builds episode previously on Blind Prime, and a new vehicle that is a sturdier vehicle than the one I showed you there. The one I showed you there is just my personal favorite of a flying vehicle with a crazy hovering artillery placement that it can just drop into a battlefield. I think that's kind of fun. So, all right, if you wouldn't mind, like this video, please. It would help out a lot. And go below, subscribe, and comment. I'd love to hear from you guys. Tell me what you think about the weaponizers. Do you wish Transformers had continued the process of making more weaponizers? Because from what I hear about Legacy, they're not really doing the weaponizers thing anymore. Or I've heard other things in saying that all the Legacy vehicles are going to have pieces of a weaponizer, and you can actually assemble them all if you buy all the Legacy stuff. That's interesting. And news about the channel before we get into this. I got Bumblebee, the movie Studio Series Brawn, and Studio Series Ratchet in, which I will be discussing on this channel in the next coming weeks. Brawn will go first because I am super excited to have a Brawn figure. Alright, well, that's enough talking about this. Let's move into the present and stop talking the future. So here I have for you the double vehicle mode, or kind of single vehicle mode, because he can come in like a little aircraft and on the battlefield and just come in, pop himself down on this, and pick it up and fly away. So this being like the whole bit of it, let's go ahead and get some measurements down before we get into it much deeper. Let's set down the Lego pad. We're going to measure him. Honestly, I don't even know how you're supposed to measure this. This is a weird aircraft. So we're measuring it, not counting the wings. All right, with everything together in the way I have it right now. There it goes. It is at 11, 12, 13, 14 studs tall. And it is at, the way I have it right now, we're going to measure wing to wing this time. There we go, wing to wing, and drag that finger forward. And that is at, okay, that's at the 16 marker. Nice. There we go. So he's 16 by 14 in this configuration. So this configuration is really cool. The way I think of it, it does fall apart. If I were to keep it in this mode, I would use some sticky tack or some my museum grade putty to hold these pieces into place. But we're going to bring out Cliff Jumper for a size comparison. Where you at, Cliff Jumper? Cliff Jumper. Call Cliff Jumper. Here he is. Alright, so here's Cliff Jumper in his tiny little self. Now, I'm going to do a comparison of Cliff Jumper is actually a little shorter than the weapons emplacement, but the spaceship can come on, Six-Gun can come down, and underneath, on the underside of this, there's a little tab that comes out. You can just plug the legs bits. Everything falls off. Alright, there it goes. Cool. You can kind of do it while it's still connected to Six-Gun, and then make sure that piece is there. Yeah. And then Six-Gun's upper bit can just come off it. There it goes. And now he can fly away and run air support for a Cliff Jumper boasting 6 cannons of doom. Yeah. He's got 4 on the top, and then I guess these 2 leg bits become cannons. Alright. That's pretty cool. This entire assembly is longer than Cliff Jumper. Cliff Jumper is hidden underneath it because it's just so big. I can imagine the kickback from this. Just like, boom! All right. Let's move on. So, cat hairs. Good grief. Okay, let's talk to you about reassembling this six-gun into the thing that I hold him on the stand the most with, and that's going to take removing each leg from the main assembly body here, and then you just take it and you feel around behind the guns. You'll find that there is a siege port, and there it goes. Now underneath it, there is a siege peg that folds in and out. And I want to say that Six-Gun's a really amazing figure because of the fact that some of these siege pegs fold in and out of the transformer, and it's something I wish more of the weaponizers had done, because it's really annoying having all these siege pegs sticking out everywhere. And it would have been a lot nicer had more of them been able to fold into place and hide themselves. I think that would have been a cool thing, and I would really like to see it if more weaponizers come in the future. Okay, so for the legs, we're going to turn these guys into jet engines now instead of guns. So you point the smaller bit, the perfect circle bit, forwards, and you point the foot backwards along the back of the fuselage. And you're going to go over here to one of the wings, and there is a siege peg on one side of the leg, but on the other side of the leg there's a siege port. You're going to want to connect that to the siege port there, and I like to put the weird thing that sticks out on the knee, that weird tetrahedron shape that sticks out really far. I like to put that on the outside of the plane. But you can also take this and move it over here to the other side, and then you can put it into place. That is the fun thing about weaponizers. You can just, and especially Six-Gun. Six-Gun is unique in this, more so than other weaponizers, because a lot of the other weaponizers have a confirmed shape. You know, the tanks you have to match up all those treads. You got the wheels and stuff with the other ones, and no, not this guy. This guy he's all a bunch of plane pieces, and you can just assemble him into a bunch of different planes. He is a very modular aircraft, and with the addition of both of those legs, like I described it, except I'm putting the little knee bits inside to give a little more girth to these wings, at least on the silhouette style, I assume. I have the 4 big old guns from his back sitting directly underneath the nose cone, and this little bitty drone aircraft thing can fly around, and sort of looks like a mix between actually the way it feels a lot like a drone fighter from the original not the original Star Wars Episode 1. They had the first appearance of the little drones, and whenever they were flying over Naboo, those little brown ones. Yeah, this kind of has that shape. It's got the drone-shaped cockpit area with some guns to girth it out underneath to make the center bit bulbous, and then it goes into thin wing sections, and then it gets to bulbous wing tips that kind of give it a nice balance. And this thing, let's see how well it balances. For an aircraft, it doesn't balance too awfully well. But then again, a lot of these things are movable, so it could be that I'm screwing up. It kind of balances. And balances alright. It just doesn't balance on the tip. Oh, wait, hey, can it? Nope. Alright. It can live on your flight stand pretty well in this form. But molding-wise, it's a bunch of different pieces that you can... Oops. The entire wing assembly fell off. It's a bunch of different pieces that you can kind of shape and move and change into many different things. It is a very unique weaponizer, and I want to say it was Cog was the first weaponizer. I think this one was the second, but this is definitely the weaponizer of weaponizers. All the other ones are okay. I think Brawl, the weaponizer, the Decepticon weaponizer that was supposed to go with Trypticon, is one of the best next to him. Brawl has you can do a lot of fun with that one. You can move him around and change up his shapes pretty well as well. Cog, not so much. Cog is Cog is Cog. We'll discuss Cog, but he was supposed to go with Fortress Maximus. And then I have the six-wheeled thing, Fast Lane. Or is it Fast Pass? No, that's Jimmy's superhero name. I think it's Fast Lane. He goes with Scorponok, and then he has a repaint called Black Orichi, which goes with Black Zarek. I don't have Black Orichi, I have Fastlane, so we'll talk about him when we get to him. But this is the final of the Metroplex series, and as you can see, Metroplex is pretty well off. He's got this awesome modular aircraft that can change its form to become what it needs for the situation, and he's got this amazing tank that can wander the streets and alleys, blowing anything up in front of it. Very sad missed opportunity here, but the tank doesn't have any sort of siege peg on top of it, or port, which is very sad because it would be cool to put these guys together. I think that would have been a nice little addition where you could combine them together, and I'm going to honestly try and make an attempt to figure out how to combine these things together, and I will showcase that whenever I do, because I think having a vehicle mode that adds the best of both worlds would be kind of cool. But as you can or cannot see, these guys are very similar to one another. They have very, very similar weights. They have very similar piece counts. It's a pretty nice combo to have. The Six-Gun and Slammer are good pairs for each other. And I hope that my review has helped you decide on whether or not to pick yourself up one, because I highly recommend it. I think it's next to Slammer. I think it's the best weaponizer in the entire line. At least that's from my opinion. But that's my perspective, and I hope you've enjoyed. And tune in next Prime as we will be discussing G.I. Joe Classified Series Gung Ho. Bye bye for now.